Oh my god. Oh my god. It took a couple months longer than I thought it was going to take. But apparently we're here, boys. Apparently we're here.
As they say at Dexerto and many other outlets covering this, OG YouTube channel Rooster Teeth shut down by Warner Brothers Discovery. Their podcast network will remain in production. Or as Discussing Film puts it, Rooster Teeth is shutting down after 21 years.
I remember listening to the podcast like every episode that came out. I listened to the podcast back when it was called The Drunk Tank. Rooster Teeth used to be good. But I don't know if he's going to talk about it in this video, but we'll get to why I didn't like Rooster Teeth and why I grew out of Rooster Teeth. We'll talk about that later once we get to the rest of this juicy goss.
We'll take a look at all the specifics in just a moment. First, I'd actually like to issue an apology because I want to say I'm sorry to you guys because I mentioned multiple times in the past that there was another Ruby/Rooster Teeth video I wanted to do because things were looking worse than ever. But as you know, I never ended up getting that video out, and it's my fault that I didn't get that Ruby/Rooster Teeth video done, and for anyone who's been expecting...
It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about Rooster Teeth anyway. We're more happy about the fact that it's finally over than anything else.
Matt, I apologize, and I
mean, what's funnier than Jeff's wife getting... than Jeff's wife leaving him so that she could finger herself on OnlyFans while he's crying about Donald Trump on CNN every single night. I mean, please watch that June video, June the King. Please watch his video, and you just see just how miserable everybody was at that fucking company, and how they just get everything that they fucking deserve.
I even feel like disappointed in myself too, but I can't go back and change that. That's the past now. So let's take a look at the news that we've got today. Variety reports. RT is biting the dust after more than 2 decades. Parent company Warner Bros. Discovery, after unsuccessful attempts to sell the unprofitable fandom, gaming, and comedy entertainment division, is shutting down Rooster Teeth's operations. RT General Manager Jordan Levin announced the shutdown of Austin-based Rooster Teeth.
This is what happens when you expand, and then sell yourself to a corporation, and then expand, insult half the country because they disagree with you politically, expand, then call your own viewers racist because they don't like some of the newer cast members because those newer cast members just happened to have darker skin, and then you expand, don't make any money, expand, don't make any money, keep making new shows, expand, still don't make any money. Then you don't stop talking about your paywall and how your paywall's changing and how you gotta move your content behind the paywall and you gotta, oh, we're changing, but we're not actually doing anything different, and we're gonna move our stuff over here. By the way, we're fucking done. We're closing down because we suck.
At an all-hands meeting Wednesday and in a memo distributed to staff, the closure of Rooster Teeth will result in layoffs of its approximately 150 full-time employees and will throw dozens of contracts...
By the way, Rooster Teeth was the best when it was like 10 people. It was like 10 people on camera and 10 people off camera, maybe a total of 40 people, 50 people. It was fine. But then they lost the plot. It stopped being about art, and it kept being about pump out the content, baby. We gotta give that corpo money. Get that money. Ooh, slurp it up. Ooh, I smell the money.
And content creators out of work as well. Full quote being, he says, "It's with a heavy heart I announce that Rooster Teeth is shutting down due to challenges facing digital media resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising, and patronage. Our legacy is not just a collection of content, but a history of pixels burned into our screens, minds, and hearts." Variety continues, saying, "Warner Bros. Discovery is currently in talks to sell the rights to certain Rooster Teeth catalog content and intellectual property such as the popular anime-style series Ruby, pioneering..."
Michael B. Jordan's animated mecha series, Genlock. Nobody was talking about this shit. Michael B. Jordan was in an animated mecha series and nobody knew.
Sci-fi spoof Red vs. Blue and Michael B. Jordan's animated mecha series.
Like, don't you think you would hear about that? I've heard about other things that Michael B. Jordan is in. How do you fumble Michael B. Jordan?
Genlock. In addition, WBD is seeking to sell the Roost Podcast Network, with shows spanning gaming, true crime, fandom, comedy, and food, which...
and politics. They fucking injected politics into every fucking thing they did.
For the time being, will continue to operate. They then mention how Rooster Teeth celebrated its 20th birthday last year with the launch of new logos and a new tagline. Just plain being the new tagline. And here's the old logo, and here's the new logo, which, by the way...
I actually don't care about the logo. That was the least offensive thing that Rooster Teeth has done in the last 10 years.
Been down a lot. They mentioned that Levin had recently announced that the 2024 RTX, that's like the Rooster Teeth convention for anyone who doesn't know, that the 2024 RTX would be canceled, which was a part of the news segment that I wanted to run that I mentioned earlier that I never ended up doing. But
I want to know how these companies can stay in business for fucking years and years and years and never be profitable. What happened to people just being fired? What happened to companies just going out of business? Like, why does it take so long for companies to go out of business? Where's the money coming from? Who is funding this operation?
Definitely important to mention that. So yeah, that was some more writing on the wall that was already full of writing of how bad RT's business was going. And above that, talking about the decline of Rooster Teeth's operation, saying that they had operated a subscription video on demand service from its earliest days, and in 2016 rebranded the service as First. At its peak, RT's First had about 225,000 paying members at the height of the popularity of Ruby and Genlock, but has fallen off to about 60,000 today. Warner Bros. Discovery will be communicating with subscribers within the next few weeks about the service's shutdown. Yeah, well, over the years, they screwed over their own First members multiple times, from price hikes to things like taking Ruby off First and then putting it on Crunchyroll.
This is what I'm talking about. They were constantly moving their IPs. And it's like, I can't stand that about these companies. It's why I don't do streaming at all. If I want to watch something, I'm watching YouTube or I'm watching nothing. Because I'm sick of this, oh, it was over here now it's over there. Oh, the prices look more. Go fuck yourself, rest in piss.
At RT's paying members, their First members, saying things like, why are we paying to get the content first if we're not actually getting it first now, and instead Crunchyroll's getting it first? And regarding the price hikes, you had some of their paying members criticizing the decision, only for an RT employee, this dude who was like named Demono or something, to my recollection, like come out and just like insult the paying members.
Yeah, all they were doing for the last 10 years was insulting their fucking fans. They're one of their own best. They kicked one of their own best friends out of the company because he disagreed with them politically. And it's like the whole point of Rooster Teeth was like the band of friends. Like it was like if you liked Rooster Teeth, you liked Joel and Gus and Jeff and Bernie. You liked those guys. And then you find out that like they're just turning on each other behind the scenes, and they're insulting their fans, and it's just like what the fuck? What kind of self-respecting person would keep fucking buying Rooster Teeth shit?
It was a crazy situation. Then that dude was mad about me for reporting on it, by the way, which only made it more funny. I can't believe that dude, that Demono dude, was like, if you don't want to pay for our price increase, you're just bad with your money. Let me know if you remember that stuff, if you've been watching the channel since back then, man. Crazy stuff over the years. As for Ruby, going back to Ruby specifically, we're now on the Ruby subreddit, and you can see people are speculating that Crunchyroll may buy Ruby, saying, anyone else think Crunchyroll may buy it up? After all,
how many people even give a shit about Ruby? Nobody talks about it. It's not mainstream. It can't be worth that much money. I mean, if Rooster Teeth couldn't even just downsize and just do nothing but Ruby, like how much money is Ruby making? It can't be worth anything.
They helped with Ice Queendom, and the exclusivity deal for Volume 9 was a huge success, so I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a huge success when it arguably also led to the downfall of RT and making their First membership even less worthy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, how did Rooster Teeth, if Ruby was so successful, the Rooster Teeth could have just downsized and done nothing but Ruby. I mean, I'm surprised. I heard that they were ending Red vs. Blue. It's like, how fucking much depth could that show have? Ironically, Red vs. Blue is probably still better than the Halo show that came out.
I think the viewing numbers for Volume 9 are debatable for being claimed as a huge success, but Yeah.
If it was a huge
People
success,
still trying to cope over this news,
then
I
Rooster
think, a
Teeth
little
would
bit.
still be
Plus,
here.
there's the whole issue with Crunchyroll itself being like terrible, which this Redditor actually points out, saying, is Crunchyroll really the company people want to hold the rights to anything they like? Haven't they been scummy recently? The merger with Funimation has ended with them getting rid of that service, erasing any digital purchases people made from there, and no way of getting them transferred. Even planning, if not already, hike up their prices. Aren't monopolies just the best? They say that with sarcasm, I'm sure. They don't pay their translators very well or treat them.
The thing about monopolies is monopolies are all right as long as you're actually like getting what you want. Like Steam is a really great monopoly as long as it keeps giving people what it wants. I don't want to use Epic Games. I don't want to use Battle.net. I don't want to use Origin. I definitely don't want to use Uplay. So monopolies aren't bad. It's how they treat their customers. But you know, what is bad is when one company owns 565,000 companies. So it's not, you can't even boycott a company because you're going to be buying one of their 565,000 other products. Is that even a real number that I just said?
Very well. They even talked about looking into AI translations. Although, you know, many people dislike Crunchyroll, but also dislike the localizers. So that's a whole other topic.
Doesn't matter. Get rid of the vocalizers. You're still going to have people using the AI to do whatever translations that they want. You're going to fire the vocalizers, but then you're going to have vocalizers programming the AI. So it doesn't matter.
But yeah, just saying. Oh, look at this. If RWBY does go to another company, they better bring back all the original cast and crew to finish the story.
Good luck.
The OP is like, no thanks.
Good luck.
I'm fine with some voice actors returning, but the writers can go get a real job because they helped kill it.
Yeah, let's keep giving jobs and money to people who were slagging off half of their fucking viewer base for the last 10 years and contributed to hemorrhaging viewers to begin with. Let's bring those people back. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's bring back the people that hate our fucking customers.
Different Redditors saying, agreed. If someone does buy it at this point, they would be better off starting the story over than continuing the garbage fire the story has become. How times have changed, guys, because like in the past, if you would have posted something like this on the RWBY subreddit, you would have had a bunch of RWBY fanatics banning you. Like these fanatics would have come out with pitchforks. And that's been the case for a long time, even up until very recently. Like any reasonable criticism of RWBY posted on the main RWBY subreddit would just get you harassed by fanatics. It was so bad that people made a separate RWBY subreddit called RWBY Critics, just so they could criticize the show somewhere. And I'm sure that didn't help RT, the fact that the RWBY fandom became so dang toxic.
The Rooster Teeth fandom was toxic. Rooster Teeth was toxic. They called you racist if you said, I don't like the show anymore, or I don't like somebody, you got called racist. Rooster Teeth was basically just Twitter.
Yo, I'll just watch something else and be in a different fandom. Like, I don't need this in my life. And that's pretty much how I felt too. I mean, to be quite frank, even to this day, there's still things I like about old RWBY. It definitely had potential to be so much greater than how it all ended up. You know, years ago, I was cosplaying as Crow Bronwyn, a character from RWBY, at multiple anime conventions. I have a RWBY coffee mug, RWBY posters, RWBY merch. I got a RWBY hat. Like, I was a pretty
You're probably the only person that bought any of their merch.
hardcore RWBY fan, man. And it's just disappointing that it all ended up like this. Although, once again, I'll mention, over the years, the writing has been on the wall that things would end up like this. So I'm not surprised at all. You know, just kind of reminiscing, I guess. Enough about me, though. We'll end with some more public reception, going back to Twitter, and this tweet from Discussing Film, RT shuts down after 21 years. Some of the comments. May not have had the best final years, but the company created some of my favorite stuff growing up. And how did they even survive for 10 years? That means no more Camp. Thought new season was coming. The Rooster Teeth we remember, RVB, and the legendary Monty Oum will all be remembered.
You know, when I heard that Monty Oum died, I was like, oh shit, he was a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. He never even got to play Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, I think we're all a little bit jealous of Monty Oum now.
Rest well. And RWBY will remain unfinished. Not that I've watched since Volume 6, but still, it sucks for those who have watched it up until now. They have no one to blame but themselves. Same with the fall of Achievement Hunter. Red vs. Blue will live on forever, and the end of the era. And it looks like the Downfall of Rooster Teeth playlist, which has over 50 of my videos covering RT's downfall over the years, has been completed.
Beautiful.
All right, I'm going to leave it there, guys. News just dropped. There you go. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
I love it.